Okay, we're going to be using a couple of different techniques today. I want to show finishing off a piece. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use two different types of shading techniques that are both primarily used. The second thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show how to use ink pens, but I'm also going to use a slight wash to add a two-tone color to the figure. We'll go ahead and go through all the different steps and the different ways that you can do things so that you can use multiple different ways, or you can find the way that best works for you. So we'll get right to it and we'll start working on our pieces. Okay, there's two different types of techniques that we can use to take these chucks and right underneath the metal areas, shade them. Now the first one is you can take an extremely fine point brush and just barely touch the areas. Now I'm not worried about going too far over, because when I do the next step I'll cover up a lot of any mistakes that I do, or if the area is too wide. Now the second way to do it is to take your black paint, put it on some sort of palette, thin it down a little bit with water, and you're going to actually put it right over the top and let it sink down over the piece. Now you can use primarily anything that you want to take it off of the top, or you can always just paint over it afterwards. Either way, it's going to give it a little bit of a blended, a little bit darker of a look. Now when we want to paint the tops, again, there's two different ways to do this. I can go through, take my bolt gun metal, or if I want something a little bit darker, I can mix to how I want it. And I can primarily slightly go over the piece. And you can see the effects that that has. However, for people that aren't as good using small brushes, you can go out and get gel pens, relatively cheap, almost anywheres. And you can take the gel pen and go over it the exact same way. Now the gel pen takes a lot of the guesswork and a lot of the problems out of doing the painting. The problem with gel pens, you're going to have to wait 48 hours for it to actually dry. Now a lot of this has on this piece has bled through to areas that I don't want. So I'm going to take my color palette and make myself a small wash. That's slightly lighter than the color it was before. And I can barely bring it in a little bit closer to the metal to take away from the shaded areas. Now upon doing this, I accidentally lost a small strip along the ridge. That's fine because I can always go through and either touch that up, or again, I can use some sort of gel pen to cover that area. But in this case, It's much easier for me just to take a regular paintbrush and some paint and to touch it up. Do it however you feel comfortable doing it. But here's a bunch of tricks, nice and easy, save you a lot of time to use gel pens. As you can see, has the same type of look, but a lot easier of use.